This teaching today may not be as long or as drawn
This
out.
meeting is being recorded.
She always says the same thing. Shabbat Shalom, Baruch Hashem. If you'll turn in your scriptures, your Bibles, to Ezekiel in English, to chapter 18 to begin with. Everybody with me? Now, somebody read verse 1, please.
The word of Hashem came to me, saying,
Read it again.
the word of Hashem came to me, saying,
Michael, you there?
Yes, sir.
Read that first verse.
The word of Yahweh came to me, saying,
Hannah, read that first verse. Oh, where did she go?
she is on mute.
Oh, okay. We'll go forth without that. There she is. Hannah, read that first verse. Oh, you're not there yet. Okay.
Oh, okay, 1 second. I had the CJB. Okay, 18. Okay, 18 and 1.
Yeah, just read it.
Okay, the word of Yahweh came to me saying, for what reason do you...
Okay. Just the first verse.
Oh, okay, forgive me.
Or maybe just this once. Now, when people read this, they don't really read it. They see it and they push it aside because they want to get on to the good stuff. Now, people in today's age of living, and I would say for the past 100 years or so, they pray. But probably 50% of people or better are not expecting an answer except in some material results. The farthest thing from their mind is experiencing what the prophet says he's experiencing in this first verse. Now, first I'll look at the implications here. You've seen this so many times in so many places. The word of the Most High came saying. So the word not only approached him, revealed itself, but spoke. It didn't say something spoke the word. It says the word itself came and spoke. Are you picking up on this idea? So my first question is, when you pray, are you praying expecting an answer? Or are you praying as a form of communication to vent and express yourself, get it off your chest and say, okay, I feel better now. Shabbat shalom, Patrick.
Shabbat shalom, Ralph.
We need to really take a look at this because this is going to set the premise for the rest of the lesson today. The word people teach in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, the Memorah in Aramaic, the living word, that would make the word alive. We're also taught from the prophets that the word of the Most High actually comes from the right hand of the Most High. That would make it one of the opposites of the right hand of power. Some relate the word, the living word, to being the anointed one, Mashiach. So just from this premise that is spoken of here, the actual translation is the word of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh came to me again. That's the actual translation. So when you're praying, I want you to take a little bit of time within yourself and present the sentiment, the perspective, the idea to the Most High for Him to reveal enough of Himself in your heart to where you will have the presence of mind, the cognizance to recognize this happening with you as a result of your prayers and communications, your praises to Him. Make the mention to Him that you want enough of Him, enough of His Ruach, enough of the set apartness that you can experience this when you pray to Him and when you praise to Him. Because there's a need for enough set apartness for that to happen. I would encourage you to seek this kind of growth with Him. Just to experience the simpleness of what you people read over here. They read this and they don't think anything about it. They want to get on to the good stuff. What message is being delivered? They don't even consider the word itself from the Most High has come to them and is speaking. That gives the substance and identity of the word a little bit more than what we originally considered just by simply reading over it. Can you imagine that in answering your prayers, as heartfelt as your prayers may be, that you experience this? What would be the difference in how you felt before Him? What would be the difference in how you express all that you want to express to Him? If this is revealed to you and you can acknowledge, you can experience His Memorah, His living word coming to you and speaking. What difference would that make to you in your daily prayers?
It'd make a
What
lot
would be
of
the
difference.
difference in the set of partners there? Would this not be something that you would elect and choose to seek after in your relationship with Him? To where you can identify, you can have the awareness it being revealed to you that the Memorah, the word itself, has come to you and is speaking to you, whether it's an answer to a prayer or is revealing something to you or confirming something, that he would reveal it enough with enough set apartness that you would have the awareness, the cognizance to know it. Would that not make a difference?
Absolutely. Hey, Rob,
Yes.
the last teaching you did when you started 2 weeks ago, you were talking about how when we're doing whatever we're doing, that he's already present with us.
Oh, yeah.
So how does that, I think I have an idea, but how does that correlate with what you're referencing right now with the prayer? I mean, like I said, I think I have an idea, but I would like you to elaborate on that. If there's, I'm positive it correlates, because if he's there with you, he's going to be right there. He's right there with you when you're praying to him too.
That's because he's omnipresent.
Yeah.
What we're going to study today is going to really cement this for you. Okay. But it's an excellent question and it falls right in. Now, let's take a look at something here, and you're gonna feel like I'm venting away, okay? However, I'm not veering away, okay? But I have to use the word vent with a different definition within it, okay? A vent's job is to either open for circulation and cohesiveness, or it closes and makes things separate and compartmentalized. So I need to use the word vent to increase the circulation, to create, centralize the wholeness from within us with him more. Okay.
Okay.
If he gives us that awareness, if he reveals that himself in his presence to you, to where we know that the memory of the word has come to us, and through some way, whether it's ears or written in our heart, however he speaks, we have that awareness in that moment that it's happening. Everybody with me?
Yep.
Now, I'd like one of you to read verses 2 and 3. Only 2 and 3, please.
I can read. On the 5th month, which was in the 5th year of exile, excuse me, King Jehoiakim, the word of Yahweh came to Ezekiel, son of Buzi, the Kohen, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river of Kabar. And the hand of Yahweh came upon him there.
Now, if the hand has come upon him, that's a little bit more that has to be revealed for us to have the awareness of that happening.
What verses again, please?
Chapter 18, verse 2 and 3.
Okay, thank you.
Wait a minute, I'm on one. I'm on one. Sorry,
All right.
not bad.
Well, you don't need a bad. That's actually something, a substance that you don't need in your life.
Okay, let's see. I'm getting there. All right, let's skip over the page. Okay, 18, 2 and 3. All right. Why do you relate this parable upon the land of Israel, saying the fathers eat sour grapes, but the teeth of the sons are set on edge? As I live, the word of the master Yahweh Elohim, I swear that there will no longer be any more among you who uses this parable in Israel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, within these two verses, gosh, there's weeks of studying. Here, the Most High requires a person to speak concerning something said. Now, can you imagine at any time in your life this happening? This is not a one-way conversation. You tell me while you're saying this. And then in verse 3, the Most High swears. This is exactly how he swears. Not only to raise his right hand, but when he swears by saying, as I live, because he lives always. So based on this premise of him going from eternity to eternity, as I live, says Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, I swear. So he's actually bringing this to the end. He's not bringing the parable to an end. He's bringing to an end that nobody will say these things. Nobody's going to use this parable anymore in Israel. He's not talking about the land. He's talking about the people. You will not speak this to Israel, to any in Israel. You will no longer say this parable. You don't see this very often. And then he says something that most people just do a cursive reading over, and they don't get the impact, the substance of it. In verse 4, he does some eye opening. He goes, see? The very first word. He's got to reveal things because he says, see. He commands it. And for that commandment to be utilized, he has to make that possible. So there has to be something he reveals here. And then he says something that should set your whole consciousness on end. All souls are mine. He didn't say only the ones in covenant, only the ones that follow me. All souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so the soul of the Son, they are mine. What does that tell you about Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, atheists, agnostics, any of them? Anybody and everybody, no matter what the language, no matter what the culture, no matter what generation, from the time of the first man to the time of the last man and beyond. What does this tell you right here? All souls belong to him. Are you getting the impact of this? Before we have any conscious knowledge of him, before anybody has studied any scripture of any religion, before anybody's taught any discipline, before anybody has any acknowledgement, there must be a greater power. There must be a creator. There must be something in the universe. This is already there in place, regardless of what somebody knows or is revealed to them. All souls are mine, he says. That doesn't mean he made covenant with everybody that belongs to him. It doesn't mean he didn't choose from among all that are his own already, that he didn't choose those of Israel, those that achieve, those that overcome, to have another place with him. But he does say here that all of them, all souls, already belong to him. Now, if all souls belong to him, that automatically should change the climate of opinion, perspective, consideration, exploration, discovery, our approach to him, everything. It should open up a lot in terms of the need for intercession, the need for prayer, the need for his teachings. Regardless of our opinion of somebody, regardless of how we've been treated, regardless of any interaction, all souls are his. That even means the monsters of the world. The Putin, the Khrushchev, the Hitler, the Mussolini, all of them. All souls are his. No matter what he chooses to do with them, all souls are his. Is this making any sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This has got to make impact on everything else that you've been taught, everything else you've heard taught, everything else that he's written on your heart. Okay? No matter the person, friends, enemies, strangers, people you like, people you don't like, people that are doing good, people that are doing evil, people that are for the Most High, people against the Most High, any category, any place at all, any culture, any language, any country, any generation, before us and after us. All souls are mine, he says. What does that do to a lot of people's ideas?
Kind of blows it
You
all.
cannot come to this congregation. You are not worthy. You didn't follow our rules. You can't be a part of this religion. You can't be a part of this club. You can't be a part of this group.
Yep.
All souls belong to him. But then he sets his people up. All souls belong to him. He does with them as he chooses. They are his. For people that own animals, and somebody remarks about the animal, one of the first things people always is, yeah, that's mine. That's my animal. That belongs to me. They don't speak of the animal as a living creature, a nefesh, a soul. They don't even speak of the animal as being alive. They said, yeah, that's mine. In Torah, we're taught that if an ox or a mule or a cattle falls into a ditch, even on a Shabbat, what are we supposed to do?
I'll get it out
Yes, why?
because of the animal. Because it fell in a ditch. It's going to die if you
The
don't get it out.
animal, is the animal
He has his
alive?
breath of life.
Yes. So even an animal, it's okay, even on a Shabbat, to save the life.
Mhm.
So here he makes this extraordinary statement, all souls are mine.
And those same animals, if we own them, we're required to give them a Shabbat.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the last part of that verse, if you look at it, see, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so the soul of the Son. They are mine. And the soul that sins shall do what?
Die.
Die. Without forgiveness, without atonement, ties right in, doesn't it?
I would say so.
Now, this sets the premise for just about everything else in Scripture. People don't really, when they do the first cursive reading of this, they don't really have any clue as to how far reaching the impact of this simple passage is.
That explains why you're not supposed to hate your brother.
Say that again.
That explains why you're not supposed to hate your brother.
Oh, now, since you're aware of this now, do you feel those little strings in your heart being tugged on? Just by knowing this, ask Him for understanding of it. Ask Him to write that understanding in your heart. The understanding will not be just one time, it'll keep increasing in depth of understanding. The more fruit of the Spirit that you're asking for, the more fruit of the Spirit that you receive, the more fruit of the Spirit that produces and reproduces, and all the fruit of the Spirit that remains, it will start taking on a deeper and deeper root and give you more depth of understanding and everything that we study. But everything has to be connected through this kind of passage. We have to recognize all of creation, all souls are His, they belong to Him. It says, all souls of sin, no forgiveness, no atonement, no intercession. They do what?
Die.
They die. Now, there is no differential treatment there. He didn't say everybody but Israel. He didn't say everybody but the Kohanim. He didn't say everybody but this one, everybody but that one. He said, the soul that sins will die. The soul that goes against His teaching. That should really garner attention. Now you're beginning to tie what we're speaking about now, Patrick, into the lesson that you asked about a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely. About where I thought it was going. Pretty much exactly where I thought it was going.
Now, if you consider this, even just for a few minutes, it's going to give you, to use an old phrase, it's going to give you cause to pause. Okay? How presumptuous and how pretentious can people be to put themselves in a position to go against this? How assuming do people have to be to put themselves in a position to where they are opposing this?
All it takes is a mindset.
Yes. Now, are we able to presume to know the mind of the Most High? If it hasn't been revealed, we don't have a clue. Now, just from one little bit we read this morning, these first 4 verses, how much do these first 4 verses go against all the teaching that is going around right now in the entire world and a belief of the Most High?
It goes.
What does that do when men oppose each other in war? What does that do when men oppose each other in business? What does it do when men oppose each other in politics? What does it do when people oppose each other in culture and tradition and lifestyle and language and family? All souls are mine. And he sets up one precedence, only one precedence. The soul that sins will die. There is no other precedence that he sets up there. But then he surrounds this premise with forgiveness, with atonement, with intercession, with a blueprint within his teachings. Because to sin, you got to go against his teaching.
Mhm.
You got to go against what he's revealed. You got to go against his spirit. You got to go against what he's put in place. Because sin is disobeying everything there. So in that one word, the soul that sins, everything concerning a sin. How much do you miss with just a cursory reading? Now, this should be stirring you to open your heart and ask him to write on your heart more and more every day. This should be stirring you to ask him to give you more to intercede with, give you more words to pray for others, give you the time of the day to pray, give you all that he would give you for you to be more righteous, more of a tzedek. This simple premise should give you foundationally all that you need to feel like you can continue growing. If a person hates you, how did he tell you to respond to a person who hates you? A
Love
person who hates you enough to want you dead, to want you out of their life, non existent in their life. Go and die on another world.
Mhm.
Go and die, rot, do something. I don't want to see it. They get so ugly with you.
Mhm.
What does he tell us to do with that person who treats us
Love
so?
them.
Bless them.
Say that again.
Bless them.
Say it again, Michael.
Love them.
I need you to say that a couple more times.
Go ahead, Patrick.
What? Love them.
Yes.
Bless them. Love them and bless them.
Oh, what is love? Fruit of the Spirit.
Spirit.
So to love them, what do you have to have? Fruit of the
Fruit of the
Spirit.
Spirit.
If we reverse engineer it, the things you've already been taught, okay, you have to recognize love is fruit of the Spirit. Now, how do you get fruit of the Spirit? You get it from the presence and activity of the Spirit. How do you get the presence and activity of the Spirit? It's got to be commanded to come to you, for it to be present with you and have activity with you.
Right.
You got to keep reverse engineering it to get a better understanding of it.
Right. Yeah.
Is it making a little bit more sense?
Oh, yeah.
Because this has to be the premise. All souls are mine. And the soul that sins will die. This has to be the premise. This is what he's revealed to show the need and reason for the rest of the blueprint. It make you more sense, Patrick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is how he originates his blueprint. Who's going to argue with him and have any success? Who argues with the Most High with any success?
Nobody that I've heard of.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Patrick.
What?
Come on now. The
What?
Most High has gifted you with insight. He's gifted you with vision. He's gifted you with gifts that you're only just now discovering.
Well, okay. Abraham and Moshe,
What did they do?
they well, Moshe actually told him to blot him out of the book if he was going to kill his people.
No, he said to blot me out instead of killing them.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. Wrong reference. I mean, yeah, reference wrong way.
That's okay. I'm not so much correcting you, is helping you for the sake of the fact that we're being recorded.
And then Abraham, in reference to Sodom and Gomorrah, got him down to 10 righteous. He wouldn't
Wow.
just little.
To let you know there were not 10 righteous people there. He should have taken one more step, huh?
Maybe. Yeah.
Can you get one?
Now, there's a lesson there, believe it or not. It shows where everybody stopped in their intercession. You can go to the other examples beyond that. But if we choose to go those steps farther than our examples took us, what would have been the difference in the outcome? Well, would you destroy the righteous with the wicked? If there's 10 righteous, he says, no, I won't destroy the cities for 10 righteous. Would you destroy them for one righteous?
Right.
So he made his decision based on how far we went with our intercession.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson most people miss.
Yeah.
So how valuable is our intercession? How much
Sure.
does he listen to our intercession? We have many examples of it.
He's attentive to it. He waits for it. Waits to see
Yes.
it do it.
So how important is our intercession? Especially for those people that hate us.
Paramount.
Life and death.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, they did this to me and they did that to me. But I'm praying for them, even though they did this and they did that. I'm praying for them. Does that sound like an intercessor?
Not really.
An intercessor has already been taught that prayers are answered. He's
Right.
already been taught, okay,
Mhm.
not only in praying and not only in things being revealed to him, but he's been taught with the results that come, what he studied in scripture, what he sees in his life, what he sees in other people's lives. He's been taught the value of prayer because the Most High is so completely results oriented.
Right.
Why does intercessory prayer work? It's because the one who's interceding, hopefully us and others, have had revealed to them how much the Most High values each soul that belongs to him, and how he does not really desire the death of anybody.
Right.
And it says so in the prophets that he does not desire the death of any person.
Right.
If this is true, and every soul, every living creature, every nefesh belongs to him, what is he desiring from us being echad? What is he desiring of us being Sadek? What is he desiring of us? House of Yaakov, House of Israel, the kingdom. Collectively, what is he desiring of us? Intercession for one another.
Mhm.
How do we get to be among the group that doesn't have to go through the second death? How do we be a part of the group whose name is in the book of life? How do we get to be a part of the group that are overcomers in him? How do we get to be a part of this?
Intercede.
Yes. Yes. In the last 4 or 5 years, I've had a good time when people say, well, what kind of social life do you have? And I said, oh, I don't have one of those. You don't? What do you do? I said, oh, I got a prayer life. What? You don't have a social life? No, not really. And you pray? Oh, yeah. Well, I pray too, but it don't take that much time. Oh, you just hit the top of my prayer list. Just by you telling me prayer don't take that much of your time. Oh, light just came on, huh, Patrick?
Oh, yeah. I find myself praying in situations like you've mentioned, when when somebody's having a conversation with you, and you'll find yourself. I find myself, and I'll start praying. I'll start praying for them right there,
Absolutely.
and then I tell them. I've told people within the past few days. I've told them that I've loved them when they've been really upset at me. And they're like, "No, you don't. You hate me." Oh, I told you that I love
They
you. I'm
just let
praying
you
for
know their motivation.
Huh?
They have the need and desire to be hated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the kind of person I am. Look at the decisions I'm making. Look at the direction I'm going in. Look what I'm doing to people.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they were saying to me. As I'm praying for them.
And because the Most High is so results oriented, he sees the end from the beginning. By virtue of us taking the time to intercede, he sees the results that we're going to produce through our intercession before him. And because he can see the result of the intercession we do as people righteous or becoming righteous, in our lifestyle before him, we become what? Honorable vessels. We become what? Obedience in Torah. And whenever there's no disobedience to Torah, there's no sin. And if there's no sin, Torah cannot judge you. Torah cannot do anything with you anymore. So what does Torah do to you?
Offers you an
It
entrance.
pushes you out of the house of Yaakov. It pushes you where? Right into the house of Israel, the house of the people who are prevailing and overcoming. Because you're already Torah observant, you're already free of sin. Now you can start growing in his justification, his righteousness. Does it making any more sense as we cover it over and over a little bit more?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Mishkan, the tabernacle, the Ohel, the tent of meeting, it was raised up, established as a shadow of what was already in heaven for the house of Israel, who was dragging along with them house of Yaakov. Now it says in one place that the house of Yaakov is meant for destruction, the house of Israel for abuse.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to tell you where it's at. I'm going to let you look it up and find it. And if the Most High hides it from you, you won't find it for a while.
That's right.
I know.
What'd you say, Hannah?
Not a word.
Ah.
Rabbi, I think that was Nikki.
That was me.
It was.
Wonderful. I heard that voice.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Special one. I am on here. I listen. I promise.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Person, so just try to listen.
You're doing a great job. Now, consider something.
That's fine.
All souls are mine. Now, think about this for a second. Okay? Just consider what I'm going to say. We are taught that he shares his honor with nobody.
Mhm.
Even the right hand of power has its own honor.
Mhm.
When Yeshua in chapter 17 of John is talking to him in his prayer, he says, please give me back the honor I had when I was with you. So he doesn't ask the Most High to share his honor, he asks for his own. Now it says in verse 4 here, all souls are mine. All of them. Does the Most High share what belongs to him?
No.
No, in the 17th chapter of John, when Yeshua is saying, I've kept everybody by the power of your name, the name that you gave me. He said, I've kept everybody that you've given me. So even us that belong to the Most High, the only way he could give them to Yeshua was because Yeshua shared the name Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh.
Uh-huh.
That was the only way that was possible. Now, I had to interject that so you'd understand. Okay? Yeshua was a man born of a woman,
Mhm.
born into sin. He wasn't sinful, but he was born into sin. That's what it teaches. The Bible cannot contradict itself. Okay? Or else it's no good to us. So we got to understand what's there. So it was the power of the name the Most High had given him. Okay? So when people fall down to worship him, because we're not supposed to, he says when he went in the wilderness, worship the Father and only the Father, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. And yet still, men fell down to worship him, pay him homage. How is that possible? Is that a conundrum? It is, unless you know that the name Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh was given to Yeshua. I kept everybody by the power of the name that you gave me. So they weren't falling down to worship him. They were falling down before the authority and the power of that name that Yeshua had. Now, all souls are mine. Everything that he does is within the framework of him making this statement, establishing this premise. Everything that's going on, everything that can be taught, everything that can be revealed, everything in our relationship with him, everything that he chooses with us, all of it, everything, the breath of life, the body, the nefesh, all of it is based on this. I need that to sink in just a little bit. Now, as earthly parents, how much desire do we have to really take care of the children that we have? Not just the maintenance of food and a roof over our head, but to love them, to help nurture them, shape them, to help them to realize their hopes and their dreams, their directions, hopefully before the Most High. How much of our time in our life do we take to ensure that every part of what we can in the lives of our children? Well, to use a Valcoma, how much more will the Most High do with us that belong to him? And yet still he uses us to fulfill his purposes in his kingdom. But he works it out in such a way that both are accomplished simultaneously, him being who he is. How do you grow a rose bush, Michael? A rose bush grows from the seed of a rose bush. So how do you keep that rose bush growing?
Plant it in soil and water it.
What else? As it's growing, what do you have to do with it?
Oh, prune it.
Oh, that must be pretty pleasant since you're growing and taking care of it, huh? You think pruning is a pleasant experience for the rose bush?
Nope.
And yet, the Most High, for most of us, has not chosen to reveal to us the language of the plants. So we see them as being silent, both in pleasure and in pain. What would happen if you could actually understand and hear the language of the plants, the language of the animals, the language of all creation, the water, the rocks, the earth? If you could hear how it speaks to the Most High concerning its existence, what would be the difference in how we approached it all and how we interacted with it? Would we be so quick to kill the ants and the spiders and the bugs with insecticide? Would we be so quick to live the way that we live on the earth? Would we be so quick to fill the oceans with our garbage? And would we be so quick to have dumps? What do we call them where we dump everything? The landfills. Would we be so quick as to have all of these things going? Would we be so quick to have the lifestyles we have in doing what we're doing to creation? In the dome of the earth, the air, the gases, the oxygen. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at how much he's actually left us ignorant of, where we can't hear the painful cries of all creation around us. We don't even consider it to be alive. We don't even consider it to have a voice to reach the Most High. And yet it says even the rocks will cry out. And if he feels this way about his creation, to where he's letting us ruin it and destroy it, because it says in the writing of Revelation, in the Brit Hadashah, toward the end of it, that the former or first earth and heaven passed away, and there's a new heaven and a new earth, and there's no more seas, no more water, a different form of living. And yet there's New Jerusalem. That's another lesson. Now, all souls are mine. Everything is predicated on this. There's an identifier. Now, since you know this, what about the person that you choose to make your enemy? If you cross into my territory, if you cross over into my property, I got something for you. How many times do we think this, say it, or we hear it from others? If you want my gun, you're going to have to peel it out of my cold, dead fingers. Come and get it. I'm waiting on you. Well, mate, if you break your vows in our marriage, I'm done with you. Okay, friend, we're friends, but if you cross this line, we're not friends anymore. We set up all kinds of boundaries in our life. We set up so many commitments that have a condition to them that are deal breakers. That means when that deal breaker hits us, we're going to follow through and destroy the whole thing. And yet the Most High says, all souls are mine. Well, you be you and I'll be me. And you live over there, you being you, and I'll live over here, me being me. And we'll get along fine. All souls are mine. Russian soldiers, Ukraine soldiers, Chinese soldiers, Chinese against Chinese, white factions against white factions, black factions against black factions, Israel, Palestinians, Jordan, in Africa, tribe against tribe. If it's not tribe against tribe, color against color. And everybody feels they're justified and rightfully so for what's been done to them. All souls are mine. All souls are mine. So now people are saying, well, if all souls are yours, why don't you do something about all this? He did do something. He gave us Torah, teaching, instruction, direction. And he's omnipresent. He's always present. He chooses when to reveal himself. In moments where he reveals himself, what do people do? Oh, okay. But until then, what does everybody do? Is this making any more sense? Do you put a rose garden in with a garden of tulips and gardenias? Why not? What are they going to do with each other? They're going to vie for the soil and nutrition and water. They're going to go against each other for survival.
Right.
I want more of this nutritious soil. I want more of this watered soil. They do the same thing in their own way. And yet, he said, all souls are mine. All creation is mine. I did this. He also said, I share my honor with who?
No one. No one.
The only time in all of scripture we're given any kind of mechanism, any kind of modality, any kind of blueprint as to how to honor him or how to give him honor is in John 15. The fruit of the Spirit that remains in our lives honors him. In order for that fruit of the Spirit to remain, it's got to be in activity. It's got to produce and reproduce. And it's not only got to reproduce and reproduce in our lives, it's got to overflow from our lives into where? Other people's lives. How long? Our entire life. How much? Every day, every moment. So how life-changing is that?
Very.
If somebody says, I want, then we have to find out what goes after that. I want more of the Most High. I want my own land. I want to make a difference in this kingdom. I want more money. We can say that they're opposing each other, but none of them actually oppose. It just depends on the direction of our vision, the direction of our thoughts. %70 of Torah is based on us living our life as though it was a business, with integrity, with identity, with character, the whole thing. That would give us the idea, the fruit of the Spirit. For the fruit of the Spirit to work through you, it's got to do so with your good character. It's got to do so with your integrity. It's got to do so with you keeping your word. It's got to do so with everything within your development and personality. The fruit of the Spirit has to work through all that within you to get out of you to get to somebody else. So the fruit of the Spirit has to overcome the way that you've modeled your life, the way that you've modeled your personality, the way that you've modeled your character. The fruit of the Spirit has to work through all of that within us before it can get from us to another person. Well, that cashier at the supermarket was rude to me, so I told her a thing or two. But oh yes, I opened the door for this elderly person because they're so gentle. What does he say? Measure for measure? It's got to be on the scale. That's Al Yaakov. Measure for measure, portion upon portion. Is all transactional. So when the fruit of the Spirit grows enough within you to where you don't care about being transactional, all you care about is loving with the love he loves with. All you care about is being joyful with the joy that he joys with through you. All you care about is the shalom from the Prince of Peace that you've been given that fills you up enough to overflow to others. All you care about is feeling that mercy that he's worked through you, Rahim, to where you can say, yes, mercy now, Rahim now, okay? To where it begins to overflow. It has overcome your deficit, your personality, your inhibition, your limitation, and now it goes forth without that because it's worked through you and you're becoming better, and therefore it is able to overcome that and overflow from there and do its work through you with other people. all souls are mine. We got to take care of our own. We got no problems taking care of our own people. We can't take care of these others. All souls are mine. Is this making any sense? Is there a people that don't belong to the Most High? He said, all souls are mine. Is there a group that don't belong to him? Is there any particular individual that does not belong to him? All souls are mine. If he did not make a distinction and he says all souls are mine, where did we get our authority and our power to make such a difference before him? Because everything we do like that is before him, because 24/7 we're always before him. Is this making any sense?
Yeah.
Finally connecting the dots a little more, Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Now, the hard part is not in the doing this. The hard part is doing it with the way that we model our own personality and our own ignorance. The hard part is humbling ourselves before the Most High so he can change that personality model enough and work with it enough to where other people can see what the Most High has said. All souls are mine. And he can look at us and point at us and say, and this soul is mine too. Meaning us as well as others. So if we get before him on purpose and we say, okay, use your breath, use your ruach, use your spirit, use your fruits of the spirit, and remake me, remodel me, reform me, reshape me, so that I am the vessel that you need to serve your purposes fully with nothing held back, to where your fruit of the Spirit flows unimpeded into my life and through my life and overflows into other people's lives without me trying to control any of it or control its direction or impede it. Is this making any more sense? The more fruit of the Spirit we're feeling, the more the fruit of the Spirit is changing us, the more the fruit of the Spirit grows us, the more the fruit of the Spirit matures us, the more it overflows into other people's lives from us without us having any control at all over it. Does this make any sense? Patrick, ask your wife what her insight is.
What's your insight, Nicole? Share it with us. Everybody wants to know.
This whole message is directed to, this whole message is a personal message for me.
I applaud your integrity and your honesty.
Mhm.
You have no idea the step you just took. Watch what the Most High does.
Yep. Praise him, that's true.
Say again.
So praise him. Hallelujah. Yep.
Let me share this with you. The more the fruit of the Spirit matures in your life and through your life, and the more fruit of the Spirit that overflows from your life, from the new model that He changes you into, the more He's able to justify you, the more He's able to use you as a witness. Try to remember in the simpleness, His ruach, His breath, His Spirit is always set apart, is always true, and always redeeming. So the fruit of the Spirit is doing the same thing, setting apart, being true, and redeeming. And as it works through us to other people, what does it begin to do with other people? Set apart, true, and redeeming. So as the fruit of the Spirit overflows from us, what we're really seeing is these three things not only in our life, but in everybody else's life. So if you are going to be having a lifestyle witness, that witness is actually the activity of setting apart, true, and redeeming. That is the witness. Because the ruach, the breath, the Spirit itself, the fruit of the Spirit from it is always set apart, always true, always redeeming. So its activity is setting apart. Its activity is being true. Its activity is redeeming. So the remaking, reforming, reshaping, refashioning, and growth of us individually, we are being set apart more and more. Kadosh more. Becoming fully Kodesh, always Kodesh. The state of any set apartness is Kodesh, from the least to all of it. So, the more set apart we are, the more we can be redeemed. The more truth that is there within us, the more truth that comes from us. This is our lifestyle witness. The set apartness that's there, that's what gets people's attention. The set apartness. The set apartness. The set apartness. The set apartness is what causes people to see you being redeemed. The set apartness is what's revealed to people so that they can see the truth from Him that's there with you. Just like the Most High reveals His presence. This is how He reveals Himself to others through us. It's His set apartness through the fruit of the Spirit that people see that we're set apart, Kodesh. It's His truth through us that people receive within that set apartness and us being redeemed. This is the witness people get from Him through us. This activity. This is how they see His justification in our life, in our being redeemed. Is this making any sense?
Yeah.
Patrick,
Yes, sir.
please remind your wonderful wife what she's going through is to make her a better vessel and to make her a better witness, because she has been praying a prayer that she's not shared with anybody. From all of the teaching, she's been praying for Him to do these things with her and to do it quickly. But don't matter. She don't have to make up for anything, because the Most High never forgets anything. So let her know He's still favoring her. Just now, as she humbles herself and she's recognizing more, now more is going to happen.
She's sitting right next to me in the room, so she heard you.
B'Kashem.
You missed the point entirely, Patrick. You're the husband, you're the head. That had to be addressed to you.
Okay, thank you.
What, Patrick?
Nothing.
Okay, everybody with me? All souls are mine, says Yod-Heh Wahe. There's no challenge to that. There's no rebuttal to it. There's no court. There's no approaching it with any suggestion or abuse or accusation. He said it. And it's been there the whole time. It's been there ever since. This is what governs everything that you've been receiving from me. Any questions thus far? No questions yet? Okay. What do you think, Michael?
Good stuff.
This is like getting hit softly in the face.
Oh, okay.
It's right there in front of, it's right there before me.
See what happens when he reveals it? Even as I speak it, it's still him that has to reveal it individually to the person hearing it.
Yeah,
It's not me that can reveal anything. It's only him that can reveal it to the individual. All souls are mine.
right. Yeah, there's a situation with my wife and I that we're going through right now that we've had to use this. Yeah, it just reaffirms of what's going on. So it's very much appreciated. Yep. Baruch Hashem.
How long have you heard this from me?
Pretty much since the first meeting with you.
All souls are mine.
Yeah.
Where else would we go?
Can't go anywhere.
Everything else in scripture, from beginning to end, is tied to all souls are mine. All souls are mine. The beginning of Bereshit, Genesis. He separated the light from the darkness, and he called lightness day, Yom. And then he called the light day. So every time we say day, we're talking about his light, Ur. Okay? So, Ur Echad, light Echad. It says in Psalms that the Most High is a light. We are beings of light. That's how we're made in his image. Okay? He interwove Echad from the first verse in Bereshit in chapter 1. The light is Echad. Then he doubled it and tripled it, etc. And he built from there all of creation. Echad. Echad has been interwoven into everything in creation. Echad. All souls are mine. Echad. Regardless of opinion, philosophy, premise, perspective, any of it. Is this making any more sense?
Yeah.
All souls are mine. Echad. They can't help but be in agreement with him because regardless of their feelings, regardless of their argument, regardless of their rebellion, regardless of the atrocity, regardless of the ugly, all souls are mine. That is Echad. That cannot be changed or removed. There's nobody to append him. There's nobody superior to him. There's nobody equal to him. All souls are mine. There's nobody that can compete with that. Nobody to confront. Nobody to oppose. Is this coming together?
Mhm.
Are you beginning to see why there's really no need and no place for hellfire and brimstone? I wouldn't suggest that fire and brimstone are not in scripture, but he uses it for lessons. His creation, even heaven and earth. He said the former's passed away, there's a new one now. So evidently he's not done with that part of it. Patrick,
Yes, sir.
now it's time for you to ask him for more of his humility so that he can reveal to you and write on your heart what you've been expecting. Instead of seeing it from a distance, ask him for more of his humility so there's more of a place before him that he can write on your heart. And then the answers are going to unfold.
Thank you.
In Corinthians 13, what does it say about love? Can anything stand against love?
No,
That's fruit of the Spirit. Can anything stand against fruit of the Spirit? Can anything stand against the Spirit?
no,
Can anything stand against his name?
no,
Can anything stand against the right hand of power?
no.
What's the difficulty?
There isn't one. There isn't a difficulty.
The difficulty is the fact that right now, what's hurting you is that the Most High is going to use you and your wife as the cutting edge that prunes those that you're dealing with. But he's going to do it working through you. You're not going to do it independently yourself. He's going to do it through you.
Right. Yeah.
But the ones you're dealing with, all souls are mine, he says.
Right.
So the ones you're dealing with already belong to him, whether they like it or not.
Absolutely.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. It helps immensely. That just means I'm along for the ride. I just have to pray and ask him to reveal all the, to give me all the
Oh,
stuff.
it's more than you just being along for the ride. It's
No,
more
I
than
know, I know, but I mean, I'm referencing him doing things, him doing it through me.
we represent him only in so much as he is able to work through us. Can't be just along for the ride because there's got to be so much activity done through us.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing passive about it.
No, I wasn't meaning it like that, but yeah, I get
I know
your
that.
point.
But I can't leave it still because we're being recorded.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I fully agree with you.
So you can blame Michael for this.
No, I didn't fully speak the I didn't really think the whole thing through before I made the statement.
That's okay. It's not a correction. It is not an admonition.
No, no, I know that. And I get it. No, because, to me, it's to me, in retrospective, hearing me say that, it's like, it is like it's almost like lessening, what actually transpires. It's a big deal for him to work through you and use you as that vessel. It's not a small matter. And
That's
you know,
true.
and that's kind of where I'm focusing my mind right now, is that's it's a weighty matter. It's a very weighty matter, because you're being chosen for a specific purpose, and he's using you
Oh.
for that purpose.
What was that question that Yeshua asked? What about the weightier measures of teaching?
Went right into that, didn't I?
You were thinking it.
Yes, I was. But it's just like you were talking about with the fruits of the spirit, and it's always true. It's always true. It's always set apart, and it's always redeeming. That's not a light matter. That is a very weighty matter.
Oh my.
You know, it's just like having him. It's just like having him be in your presence, or you being in his presence, should I say?
That's exactly what it is.
I've experienced that, and that is a very for me, it wasn't scary. It was just breathtaking, things like that. And it was, I mean, I you know, but that wasn't weight. I mean, that wasn't light matter. That was very weighty. But all those things have built a foundation with me, that while I may not have understood totally what was going on, I knew who it was.
I believe you.
Thank you.
Now, it's just about 3:30, Michael. What do you think?
Break time.
Is everybody okay with everything this far? Any questions before we break? All right, sir. Thank you.
Wonderful. See you in about an hour.
Alrighty. Baruch Hashem.
All souls are made.
This meeting is being recorded.
Shabbat Shalom, Baruch Hashem. Because it says all souls belong to the Most High. If they belong to the Most High because He made them, He created them, what will all souls have to identify that? There's got to be an identifying factor to show that they all belong to Him.
Life.
His breath. And the
That is
instant.
correct. Both of you are correct. What do those have? His breath of life, what does it have?
Fruits of the spirit.
It has Kodesh,
Oh,
set apartness.
It's just to what degree?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what degree?
Everything that belongs to Him has to have what?
It's set apart.
Now, what about whenever he held court one time and he said, "Who will go down for me?" And a spirit approached and says, "I will go down as an unclean spirit." Even going down as an unclean spirit to fulfill what the Most High required to be done, did that change that spirit's set apartness before the Most High?
It's
Do you
like
see
you're
how
going to
easily
do it.
people
It's
can
an
be confused
assignment.
to say, "We're going to cast out all the unclean spirits"?
Mm.
Do you think you can use the Most High's name to cast out what the Most High sent for a purpose?
You can try.
Now, all souls belong to the Most High.
Oh.
You should never get tired of hearing this or saying it.
All souls are mine.
No matter who you look at, no matter how they feel, no matter what emotion they're experiencing, no matter what direction their life is going in or has gone in, none of it changes. All souls belong to the Most High. Nothing changes this. But everything's built on it. The God.
Mhm.
This really needs to filter and layer by layer get in.
Uh-huh.
Okay? All of creation is his. If he created everything as it says he did, what will everything have?
Good.
Some degree, some level of set apartness. Because it's his hand that made it. His hand that designed it. It says that he divided the light from the darkness. He did the dividing. Then he called the light day. Even Yeshua said you should enjoy the light while it's with you before the darkness comes. So what was the light that was divided from the darkness? The right hand of power. So the right hand of power, to fit in with the part of creation, he called it what? Day. Day Echad. Light Echad. So one way or the other, by his design, everything is still what?
Yeah.
Echad. Is this coming together at all?
Yeah.
Any place where the Most High reveals his presence, because being omnipresent, he's present everywhere. So when he starts revealing his presence, what does he use to reveal his presence?
That's fruit.
Say it again.
The fruit of the spirit.
Think about this for a second.
Good.
What precedes everything with the Most High? His
So
set
pardon.
apartness. That's how we identify as him.
Mhm.
Moshe's first experience was set apartness. was taking his shoes off on the ground. And the set apartness, there was so little of it there that it didn't hurt his feet, it didn't hurt him stepping on that set apart ground. And it was set apart only because of the presence that was revealed. And then he heard a voice speak out of the fire. So one part of creation did not make a change in another part of creation. The fire did not make a change in the bush. The fire did not take away the gift of life and motion. It was all set apartness. Is this making any sense? So when a person thinks of themselves as being independent of the Most High, every soul belongs to the Most High. When you see another person, you're actually seeing what? You're seeing a spirit being of light inside of a physical body, put together by his breath, and they're breathing every moment. So what are you actually seeing? In that handiwork of the Most High with another person. You're seeing a degree, a portion of his set apartness. The breath of life can't be there without set apartness. Is this making any sense? So when we intercede for somebody, his set apartness is already there because of the breath. And because they inside of themselves, they're a spirit being, a being of light. So when we intercede for somebody, there's a connection already made. They fight with themselves about it. So the intercession is all about the fight of the person and their mind, not their heart. When they come back to the Most High, their mind is no longer fighting the heart, and they're accepting what he's revealing to them. Does this make any sense? Would they remain alive if he took his breath of life away?
No.
Would they remain alive if that set apartness left?
No.
Does that help the understanding? Now all you got to do is apply what you learned. It enlarges the prayer life. Soon we'll be able to start learning about the different kinds of prayer. What do you think, Michael?
Wonderful.
Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. John and Marie are coming back from visiting their family. So they sent their greetings of a Shabbat Shalom to everybody and their gratefulness for keeping them in prayer.
Baruch Hashem, halfway.
Baruch Hashem. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and, if there's anything anyone wants to add to the recording, otherwise we'll stop it here in a moment.